how am I going about getting that earned media? Everyone wants to snap their fingers and have gone viral. Generally
Great,
not the case, but how do you walk them there?
great question. And typically, when I should have differentiated with earned media, that's when people are really relying on public relations and a publicist. But we're talking about how we can do this from within our organization. Where paid media, sometimes that falls into the marketing team. But getting earned media, you want to be newsworthy, and this is something that I have helped my clients with for years. Just to share some examples that I think will resonate with everybody. When I started my career with Serafina Restaurant Group, where I was the director of public relations and business development for 12 years, there were three locations when I started, 33 when I left. So we did a global expansion. And in the beginning on the website, when you're reading about Serafina, it said something about, two Italian immigrants wanting to share their love of Italian cuisine with New York. And while that's nice, it's not going to really grab people because it's New York City and there's Italian restaurants in every corner. So I sat with the founders and I'm like, what's really the backstory? And dug deeper. And it turns out that they have this fascinating story where it was two young Italian immigrants and they were lost at sea. We won't get deeply into it, but they were both hungry and cold and shivering. And one said, I can make the best pizza. Oh, if we survive, I'll make you pizza. And the other one said he's a builder, he can make the pizza oven, because they weren't restaurateurs at the time. And so they made a pact. If we survive this ordeal, we're going to open a restaurant. And that's exactly what they did in New York in the Upper East Side. And it became a hot spot for, celebrities and politicians. And this lost at sea story, I said, let's get that up on the website. Let's share that. And sure enough, as we're opening around the world, in Tokyo and Russia and all these foreign markets, everybody wants to hear the lost at sea story and wants to interview the founders. And it became something that was newsworthy. Now, outside of hospitality and food, another client, Decorte, which is a luxury skincare line, they have it's based in Japan, and this line was developed right after World War II, when the founders of this company wanted to give women some hope and make them feel beautiful again. So they created a skincare line. And all these years later, it's huge in Japan. And we were involved with launching it in North America. And again, that's a great story to share with journalists. You could take anything like pet food. You can say, yeah, I love dogs. So we created this high quality pet food. Or you can tell the story of a little fur baby you adopted from a dog shelter and named him Cuddles, and he changed the life of the owner. And to honor this dog, they created this pet food brand. And just one other example, a law firm, for example, perhaps the founder, somebody in the family, was traumatized by some sort of accident. So then they're motivated and they're compelled to help other victims and fight for justice, and just ways to look at something that's going to capture the interest of people. And finding the story, it might seem like a battle, but really, if you take a deep dive, everybody has a story and there's something that can relate with others. If not, I mean, talk to your friends and family about it and really think, why did I start my company? And by the way, it doesn't have to be a life or death survival story. It could be simple, that there's a need and you want to do something to fix it or fulfill that need. But I think what's also important is to explain why you're passionate about your company and what you're doing. Because again, if you're trying to get people or media to listen to your story, you have to be passionate about it. You are your own best spokesperson. And then also, why should people care? As I mentioned before, you're being relatable. Timing is often key when it comes to your storytelling. If you ask yourself, is your business seasonal, or can it be related to some sort of holiday calendar? If it's Women's History Month in March, if you're a woman, do you want to tie it into that? If you're a female founder, obviously food and beverage, there's a lot that goes on with different holidays, St. Patrick's Day, whatnot, Valentine's Day. find ways to link your story into what's happening in the world. Also, it can be current event related. So, for example, I had a client in the tech industry, and they're a security firm that helped remote workers work away from the office, from their homes, and still keep company data private. And they launched, I believe, a few years before the pandemic. And I came on right before the pandemic, which ended up being perfect timing because suddenly so many of America's workforce had to move home. So that was a great way to garner attention because it was so relevant to the current event at the time, which of course was this life-changing pandemic.